Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday again, and it is our weekly Breakfast Buddies online. So I am joined by the lovely Beth and Rachel this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Jasmin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you both?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good, Rachel?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good. So the big question, how was your Valentine's Days?
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it was nice spending it at the yard and then doing some nice little craft as well. So I decorated the place.
I saw that. I think it might have been Sophia put something on our Discord that it was like you've made something yesterday, which is really sweet. Did you have a good one, Beth? Was you obviously showered with gifts and?
I was at the yard as well yesterday, so it was quite nice just having a nice day with everyone.
Valentine's Day with the gang.
Yeah, it was.
It was very nice. There was so much stuff on Facebook yesterday, more about Galentine's. It really is sort of taking off more and more, isn't it? Yeah. Valentine's. I mean, you also got all the token. I follow so many random like celebrities on Instagram, you know, all with their like a room filled with balloons and, you know, bouquets as big as your head and blah blah blah. Who?
Follow Cardi B.
Oh, no, I don't follow them. What did they get?
Her husband had like filled their swimming pool with rose petals. He's got like these big like archway things of roses. I was like, oh my god, you got more money than expense, mate.
Yeah. But some people just want a little bit extra. I had a nice day. Well, Sam was at work all day, but I had a day with the kids, and I got some flowers, and the kids got me some chocolates, and we just had our little M&S dine-in, and it was really nice. Low-key, it's Monday. It's a bit of a rubbish day, isn't it? No one wants to really do an awful lot, but yeah, I did love seeing everyone's Galentine's stuff online. It was nice seeing all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick off our internal weather, as we like to do every Tuesday morning. So I tell you what, I'll kick us off this morning. I am feeling pretty much like it is outside. I am miserable. I'm tired. I feel a bit dull. It is so rubbish when the weather is like this on half term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, as a mum of two kids who like to do outdoorsy stuff, and I think it's going to be like this all week. It is just rubbish. And it makes me feel miserable. I'm tired, but I'm feeling a bit storm cloudy, rainy today. But I'm going to the cinema this afternoon with Mabel, so hopefully we're going to see Sing 2. So what normally will happen is Mabel will watch the film and I'll have a little kip, which is Mummy, you watching it? I'm like, yeah, I am. But yeah, at least we're going to be in the dry, keeping warm. So Beth, how is your internal weather this morning?
I'm quite sunny today. I don't know whether you know, but last Thursday I submitted my master's dissertation.
Yay! My goodness. I bet you feel like the biggest weight has been lifted off your shoulders.
Honestly, never again. Education done.
You've done it. So is that everything's done now? You don't have to.
No, everything is done now.
Amazing.
I know.
Oh, I feel so relieved.
I found myself sitting like on a Saturday and I'd be like, oh my God, I need to write. And then I'm like, oh, you don't.
Oh, that's well done you, because that's such a huge thing.
Yeah, so, congratulations.
Congratulations. You're all done. And well done for getting it done. You won't know what to do with yourself now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, but I'm glad to hear you're sunny and you're feeling good. That's really good. Rachel, how about you? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling sunny as well. Probably because 2 nights ago, I only had 2 hours sleep. And then when I got home around 5:30, I just slept until 7:00 this morning.
Did you?
Well rested.
Oh wow, that was a mammoth sleep, Rachel. You needed it. Why did you?
I went into a light coma there, but I'm all restored.
Why did you only have 2 hours sleep the night before?
I don't know. I think it's just when your brain's into like overdrive, and then you just can't sleep afterwards.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night. You know, when you just feel like, I mean, I must have dozed off at points, but I honestly felt like I just tossed and turned all night. You know, when you just feel see every hour. But so you've definitely caught up on your sleep then.
Yeah, but made up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling good and ready to go again today. Okay, all right then. So let's start off with some bits and bobs that we've been looking at what's going on. Obviously not just in Northampton, but sort of nationally. So let's kick off with Northampton first. So an article I found this morning, which I thought was quite interesting. So it's saying that the council are set to approve a 4.6 million facelift to revitalise the shopping areas in Northampton. Now, what do you guys think to that? Because, I mean, let's all be honest. Our town centre, I think, is just abysmal.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. And if we didn't work in town, if our building wasn't on Gold Street, I do not think I would ever go into town. It's just changed so much from, like, I sound old now, but like when I was younger, and there's so many shops that have closed, and you know, there just seems to be hardly anything there. So potentially this facelift that they're talking about could be amazing, but it's also a lot of money to spend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, it's competition, isn't it? Like you've got things like Rushden Lakes, not that far away, and even Milton Keynes isn't that far away. Yeah. And I think they've got quite good bus routes as far as I'm aware, especially to Milton Keynes. So it's that competition, isn't it? I think perhaps Northampton are realising they're slacking a bit on their I don't want to say tourism, but it kind of is, you know, people come into Northampton to shop.
Yeah. And I think the trouble is as well is that it all looks tired and a bit naff, doesn't it? You know, when you go over to Rushden Lakes, it's all, you know, I know it's not new anymore, but it just all feels and looks nicer. I just feel like our town centre has taken a real nosedive in its appearance and everything. It's saying here that planning will likely take another year, with work commencing in the summer of 23, and it won't be completed until the spring of 25. So, I mean, it's still quite a way away. But yeah, I definitely think you're right. I myself, if I think, I need to go shopping or something, I would rather just jump in the car and drive to Rushden Lakes because it's a nicer shopping experience. But it is sad how a lot of us tend to do that now. You know, like you say, there's the Milton Keynes, there's Rushden Lakes. People do tend to sort of make those choices as opposed to the town centre now, don't they?
Well, and online shopping. You only have to look at online shopping. That's a massive thing now. I think even if they did up the Grosvenor and was like, we can offer so many more spaces for shops, I don't think shops would take them. I agree. And that's the other thing, we've lost so many of those big stores, haven't we? You know, M&S, Debenhams, you know, all those sort of stores that sort of attracted quite a variety of age groups are gone. So then you're thinking to yourself, well, what is it going to take to draw people back in? Because I'm not too sure, you know. And like you just said, with the online shopping now, with the pandemic, that's all we really did, didn't we? Apart from if you were lucky enough, you could get to the shops, or you could get a delivery sort of grocery shop. But apart from that, it was just everything was online. And I know a lot of people have never changed back from that since we have the world's opened up again. So it would be interesting to see, but it will be.
But I do think
I like doing that physical shopping. I do really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But when it's like you said, Northampton's not one that springs to mind as being like, oh yeah, I fancy a day out in Northampton.
Yeah, no.
Which is sad, really.
It is really sad. If you think, you know, that little bit of area, I don't know what it's called, but you know, like by the Derngate, and there's the museum. That's actually a lovely. Charles's Street. There's some lovely little independent stores on there and cafes and stuff, and that actually looks nice around there, doesn't it? So you think it is. We could make things look a bit nicer, and you know, but again, it's what stores would want to then take a shop within the town centre if they don't think that it's going to sort of pay off. What do you think, Rachel? Do you like to physically go out for a shop, or are you quite happy doing it online?
I prefer to do it physically. When it comes to like clothes and stuff, it's better in person because of my height. It's quite hard to judge online. And the only thing that I like is the fact that there's a lot of charity shops, but other than that, there's nothing for like variety or just for anyone. Like, there isn't even a place for, if you have my friend with her baby, there isn't really an area where you can just sit down and relax, where your baby can just run around and just have fun if you have rest for a bit. So I think they should really step it up, not just for looking better, but being more practical.
100%. More facilities that you know, people need and will attract them to come into. So well, watch this space. I mean, it's not going to be happening anytime soon, is it? We've still got to wait till if it happens. But yeah, definitely, we do need a bit of a revamp, because it's such a shame, because it could be so lovely, and it used to, well, let's say lovely when I was younger, but it was thriving back in those days. You know, it has changed an incredible amount, really.
No, it was a town centre. I don't think it's a town centre anymore. I think it's become a bit of a crossover point, hasn't it? Especially with the bus station. That people come in, wait for the bus, and then go.
Yeah, definitely they do. That's right. Yeah.
It's a shame because it went downhill for me after the Disney store closed, and then it was the House of Fraser, and then Debenham. I'm like,
yeah, and even like, you know, Topshop, and there used to be Miss Selfridge, and there used to be a few more. Like, I used to love that Warehouse was in House of Fraser, and you can't get any of those brands at all anymore, can you?
No.
And Peacock Place, I mean, I think that's just completely, there's nothing in there now, is there?
No, I don't think so.
I don't even think you can get into it. But I can't remember the last time I was in town, but I remember walking past and it was all sort of closed and dark, and I was thinking, is the whole place just closed now?
Yeah, because there used to be some quite nice independent shops in there, from what I remember.
Yeah,
but you're right. I don't think there is anything left in there now.
I think that's completely gone now as well. So what a complete waste, because I remember when that was all built and it was like, there's this amazing new Peacock Place, and actually it's not really turned out to be that way, has it? Yeah, we shall see. Right, who else has got something locally they found this morning?
I think Rachel did.
I got something where a young lady basically redecorated her bathroom. I thought it was quite interesting, purely because she did it on a budget, where it would usually cost about $1,200, but it only cost her about £600. Let me see. And what I really liked about it was she spoke about mental health as well. And how being involved in a project meant that she could not worry about her anxiety. So this is what it was like before, quite bland, different shades of brown, and then she redecorated it really vibrantly, and you get a better picture down here. It's amazing. Not everyone's for taste, but I do like the contrast of the green.
I like it. So she did all the work herself, did she?
Yeah, the only thing that she didn't do was the tiles, purely because she'd done it before, and she thought, I would rather clean for 2 hours than do that again. So she paid someone to do the tiling.
Yeah.
But she basically got decor pieces from B&M, the pound shop, and it looked like there was a really nice rug and Urban Outfitters, and she found one that's a copycat for $6.99. So it shows that you can still have a really nice decorated home without having to break the bank.
Yeah, 100%.
What I liked here, what did she say about her anxiety? Because I noticed that with me, when I decorate my house, I just love the fact that it really calms me down. My kitchen's still not done because I've not been too distracted, because I've been wanting to focus more on work. But I really like the fact that it focuses on the fact that you can have a nice way of living without having to.
I'd love to be able to do something like that, but I am just so rubbish.
Yeah.
I see these sort of stories, or so, you know, and they say, "Oh, this lady's done her whole thing," and I'm, you know, obviously she spent quite a bit of time going out sourcing products on a cheaper sort of scale, but I just can't do it. I can't even do DIY. I'm rubbish. I'm literally rubbish. And it really, I see these people doing these things. I just think, oh my God, they're so actually really quite talented, aren't they? To be able do all of that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one like when we was on lockdown or something, and a lady, you know how everyone went a bit like, oh, we're stuck at home, I'll do my garden up, or I'll do this or do that. And one lady, she only had a really small garden, but it was a mess. And she spent the whole of lockdown, she totally transformed her garden. Like by the end picture of it was just absolutely amazing. It looked like it was off the set of like Love Island with all like lights, and it was brilliant. She did well. But you're right in what you say. Those sort of projects and things can be really good for mental health, can't they?
Yeah.
Because it does, you know, like we always say, a lot of the things that we run at the yard and a lot of the creative counselling that Sophia does, it's all about that sort of thing, which is sort of taking your mind into a different sort of space when you're perhaps struggling with anxieties and things like that. So that's a really lovely story. I need to get a number so she can come on and do my bathroom for me.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, actually.
I know, brilliant. Oh, I like that actually. Anything else that we got?
We got something in Northamptonshire. A lady called Sarah Hamblin, who used to teach at a special needs school for over 20 years, is now opening a cafe called a Dementia Cafe. And I don't know how to share that. And there she is. And basically, Mama 5 set to open a new Dementia Cafe in Northamptonshire. And I thought it was really sweet because it reminded me of us. Because what we do, we kind of like open up our place in the morning for anyone that wants to come in, have a natter, need some help, regardless of whatever background that they have.
Yeah.
And she was basically who had 2 decades of experience teaching special needs school, took over operations at in-at-home care and visiting angels in Northamptonshire. So I can't really think of a better person to open a Dementia Cafe where they're actually understanding and it's not a very pressurised situation for the customers when they just want to sit down and have a nice hot drink.
Does it say where it's going to be? She's sort of secured it.
When it's care, genuine believe in visiting angels. Well, no, I genuine believe in visiting angels. So I think that might be what the cafe is called. I'll try and find out and let you know.
It'd be interesting to know where it's going to be. I wonder if it's.
So they're currently on the hunt for larger office premises, so we can provide a team with a home away from home. They can come between visits. So they should have something.
Morning to Bianca and to Pete. Hope you are both okay. What's the weather like where you guys are? Because it is so miserable here. Rain, wind.
I'll have a look-see, but so I'm not sharing any information. But
if we find it, we'll pop it in the comments.
Yeah,
just quite if we find out where they are, it's a nice thing to be able to know, because I love that idea. Really lovely, and I think a lot of people would benefit from that.
Yeah, definitely.
Beth,
talking about the Grosvenor.
Oh, go on then.
So on the 4th of March, which is a Friday, between 11 and 3, there's going to be a jobs fair.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh. So apparently they did one last Christmas, and it was meant to be really good apparently. I mean, I didn't go, so I couldn't tell you how true that is or not. But so in the Chronicle it says the event will be the perfect place for those looking for work to chat to prospective employers and see what's available. So they've said that the job fair will include people like Metro Bank, Lush, Nationwide, Consortia, and the police, and then West Northamptonshire Council Job Club will also be there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Is looking to go and have a look what jobs are out there in Northampton. I'd say definitely on that.
So is that in that little shop thing again? You know, or whereabouts is it?
It's located next to River Island on the upper floor, so I think it might be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's really good. And we definitely be perhaps signposting on some of our service users up to that, because we have got some sort of young people and young adults who are looking for, you know, perhaps making a step into the working world, but it's difficult, isn't it? So to be able to go to something like that and speak to a variety of different sort of companies, I think that's really, really great.
Yeah, it is. It's part of the Northampton Town Centre Business Improvement District. So it's part of a drive to boost employment in the town and help companies find the perfect candidate to fill the gaps in their workforce.
Oh, okay. Oh, brilliant. So 4th of March, what time is it?
March 11 till 3 o'clock.
11 till 3. Oh, brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds really good, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it does, definitely. Okay, so Rachel, what was that article? We're moving on a bit now from Northampton.
Yeah.
Okay, quite an interesting statistic that you found this morning. Pete's just said the weather's great. They're just waiting for Storm Dudley to hit us. I've heard about this. There's going to be this storm going around, and then I've seen quite a few things on social media where people have got away for like the half-term break, like down to the coast or something, and the winds. It's just people have been like absolutely windswept. So storms are coming. Stay safe.
Before we move to the next one, I found out it's the lady. It worked for a company called Visiting Angel, and it's based in Sywell. So the cafe's not open yet, but that's like their next plan to expand and set that up. Which is
well, hopefully they'll find a.
Which will be good to expand.
Find a premises. Yeah. Honestly, my brain's not working properly today. I'm so tired. Hopefully they'll find a premises soon so they can get that going, and we'll keep an ear out for that and let people know when we hear anything. Well done for finding that, Rachel.
I don't know if you know about a lady called Denise Welsh.
Yeah,
she was Loose Women, I think. Also in Waterloo Road in like season 1. She was kind of put under fire because she was asking about why a straight woman would need to have a HIV test. And that kind of like implies that she wouldn't need to because it's more under the gay community, LGBT, and she's with a straight man, But in actuality, there's now new statistics that shows that since the last 2 decades, straight men have overridden gay men with having HIV. And I thought that was really interesting to see. So the number of the new HIV diagnosis in straight people is higher than in gay and bisexual men for the first time in over a decade, making a shift in the shape of the HIV epidemic in the UK. And gay and bisexual men continue to be disproportionately affected. So there's still the stigma of don't go near them because of that. And to me, that's ridiculous. And it's also, I thought it was quite an interesting thing to talk about because it's important to think about our own sexual health, and if we actually know, if we are sexually active, if we know that our partner or whoever we're with are also remaining safe as well. The stats show that 51% of women, 55% of heterosexual men, and 66% of those ages 65 were diagnosed at late stage in 2020. By comparison, just 29% of gay and bisexual men were diagnosed late.
Wow.
So it's something
those numbers really surprised me.
It's a big difference, and it's something that we need to really consider for ourselves now. And the reason Denise was under scrutiny was why, which isn't me an unreasonable question to ask. And thankfully, after people like educated her, she said sorry and apologized for not knowing the full information and being misinformed of HIV. So HIV does not discriminate. I am a woman living with HIV for the last 15 years. And if you look at the statistic, a third of people living with HIV in the UK are women, and 52% of people with the virus worldwide are women. So it's a big statistic. And I thought it was interesting to talk about because I believe last week was HIV week, and Prince Harry spoke about how people need to still talk about it because it was something Princess Diana was a big advocate for as well.
Yeah.
So I thought it was quite interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, Peter just said COVID has taken away the focus from AIDS, 100%. Just feel like all we talk about. But I heard on the news as well that Prince Harry wanted to sort of continue the work that his mum did because she was a big advocate for it all, wasn't she? At a time when it really was quite a taboo illness, wasn't it? But yeah, those statistics surprised me. I mean, I've never thought, oh, women, don't get it or can't get it, but I wasn't aware that it was so high percentage of women.
Yeah, because it's also something you could inherit as well without realizing. So I think if you contract it and have children, they would probably end up getting it as well. I believe it's a inherited thing. Let me double check.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Can you inherit HIV? HIV can be passed from mother to her child during pregnancy or delivery, as well as through breast milk. So anything through body.
Obviously, having had 2 kids myself, I know they test you for HIV.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. So right at the beginning of your pregnancy, when you first go to your midwife, that is one of the blood tests they do. I mean, obviously, you have to consent to it, but so they do test that because I guess they would need to know. Like, I didn't realise it could be transferred to the child, so they would need to know to be able to monitor that, wouldn't they? Well, no, that's a really interesting article.
I think she made a valid point though about the media, because if the media are feeding into this that no, it's not straight women, it's not straight people in general, then of course people are going to be misled in thinking that it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a really important thing to recognise, is how just the media can be so clouding of people's judgments and stuff.
I think this is a general problem with the media, full stop, isn't it? They get, some of the things that get put out there and they feed into things are so far away from what is actually going on, but people read stuff and believe it, don't they? I remember, I mean, slightly off topic, but I just remember when we first went into lockdown at the very beginning, and it was all new and it was all quite scary, and there was photos, I don't know if you remember this, but there was photos of the army in London on social media, and everyone's like, this is really bad, the army's coming in, and this ended up, and it was like my friendship group, people were forwarding it all on, like, oh my god, and it turns out that this was just a really old photo that the press or the media had put out there, and it turned into this massive everyone, and actually and that sticks with me, that one, because it really scared me, and I thought, oh my goodness, and it wasn't true, it was an old photo, but that just goes to show the power of the press and the media, doesn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
That's why you've got to be so careful, and also don't believe everything you read, and do your own research. If it's something that you're concerned about or worried about, don't just take what you've read for granted. Have a look into it, because there's so much false press and narrative out there these days, isn't there? And there's so much scaremongering as well, I think, especially with obviously the last 2 years that we've just lived with COVID, so much scaremongering from press and stuff like that. So it is really important to do your own research and try and find out your own facts if you can. That was a really interesting article, Rachel. That's definitely made me a bit more aware, and
definitely,
maybe we'll start to hear a bit more in the press and the news about it all now, if they're trying to make those sort of facts a bit more, make people a bit more aware. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Beth, did you have?
Yeah, so I've got a little video, and it's about the Met Police, and the title of the article is Met Police, some officers are racist. Professional standards chief admits. So this comes after, obviously, Cressida Dick resigned.
Yes.
Which I think is just interesting.
I'm glad she's resigned.
Yeah, especially after the whole number 10 party situation and all of that.
It was interesting the way it happened, because she put something out saying she's absolutely not resigning. Less than 24 hours later, she'd resigned.
Yeah.
And I think I must have heard it on the news or something, but it was more to do with the fact, wasn't it? It's Sadiq Khan, who's the mayor of. He sort of said that he's lost his sort of trust in her, and then they felt that moving forward, she couldn't. If he doesn't have any trust in her, then what does? And I'm so glad when I heard that she was stepping down, because she should have done that a long time ago, in my opinion. Oh
yeah.
Sorry. Last week, this keeps happening to me. Last week it was my Alexa. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Now my watch is talking to me. I'm not talking to you. Honestly, modern technology. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there, Beth. Go on.
Okay, don't worry. So this is the Deputy Assistant Commissioner, Bas Javid, being asked about racism within the. Let me see if I can share this video with you all. I think it's interesting.
Do you accept that racism is a problem in the Metropolitan Police?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Tell me more about that. I mean, we had that very toxic IOPC report that spelt out some of the racial slurs that serving officers were using against people of colour.
Let me be really clear on this. There's absolutely no room for racism in policing, and especially here in the Metropolitan Police. We've made that very, very clear to our people. Anyone who works for us and demonstrates any type of racism or discrimination behaviour will be removed from the organisation.
They would say otherwise. They said that wasn't happening, that people were making racial slurs, and then they were given management action, they said. So they were put on a course or they were punished, but they weren't sacked. Can you assure me today that if anybody makes a racial slur, they use the N-word, the P-word, or call a serving officer a monkey, that they will be fired?
First of all those examples that you just given me are absolutely disgusting, and there's no room for them here in the Met. And just to be super clear with you, those people will be excluded. Now, in terms of what happens in each individual case, I can't stand here and really account for that, because there's a process to be followed. What I'd like to see is people having the ability to have confidence in me and my departments to come forward and make reports of wrongdoing. And then what I can assure them is absolutely we will deal with them fairly and very, very effectively. And if people are found to be racist or discriminatory in any way, then I will do absolutely everything I can to make sure that they're removed from the police.
I think the way he just said they'll be removed, and then she said, okay, but your officers are turning around and saying, actually, this is something that's not happening. And then him to backtrack and be like, well, I can't say for each individual case, there's processes to go through. I think that's so...
It's hypocritical.
Exactly. Why? How can you say that you're going to remove all of the people that are doing these things to then say, actually, well, I don't know about individual.
Yeah.
You can't do this sweeping statement.
No, absolutely. I've just read on that bit as well that he is Sajid Javid's brother.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous thing to sort of say, because it's so confident and that these people will be removed, but actually comment on individual cases. So Pete said the whole of the Met needs a root and branch clear out and more work on culture change, badly needed, led by community leaders, mentors. Don't rely on the police themselves to change things themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's interesting. Like here, so Javid's just said he ruled himself as following Cressida Dick, and he said that it should be someone outside of the police force, which I kind of agree with in a way. Like he just said, it needs to be that clear out happening.
Yeah. I think it should be someone fresh, someone outside of it all that can actually put these things into place that need to happen. Who chooses who the next commissioner, who makes that choice? Do they vote on it? How does it work? Do you know? I have no idea.
See, it says here Mayor and Home Secretary to decide if the next commissioner. So that's a minority, which I think would be beneficial as well.
Yeah. I guess we'll wait and see who they choose to take over that position. But I mean, there is I know there's a lot of terrible stuff going on, but I don't know if you guys saw, this was a couple of weeks ago now. I can't even remember if we spoke about it on here, but I saw on breakfast television that there were some actual text messages that had come from police officers to each other, joking about how they would rape one of their colleagues, how they would do different. I mean, the messages were horrendous. How they would give her a rape drug, or or women like stuff. Honestly, I don't know if you saw them, but they were really, really bad. But actual messages that have gone about, and you think this is what is happening in the police force, and they're the people that are supposed to be keeping people safe.
And the problem is, I just read that in the BBC article, and they've justified it as being banter.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but at what point does that line get crossed? Because for me, you can't have banter about rape.
I don't think I've ever had a conversation where I'm joking about something as serious as rape. So just that alone to me is a big indicator of who they are as a person. They don't really understand what it's like to be a victim.
Yeah.
I feel like police should know what it's like to be a victim.
Yeah. 100%.
In order to help protect others.
Definitely. And Pete's just said it's like giving Dracula the keys to the blood bank.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a worry, isn't it, when you think that these are the people that are supposed to be protecting us all and keeping us all safe. Doesn't leave you with very much confidence. And I obviously know it's a sweeping statement to say that they're all like that. I know that they're not, but there is a lot that are. And therein lies the problem, because they've been allowed to get away with it. They do, I think, they feel like they're above a certain, level, and it doesn't matter. They're Met Police, and they can say what they want jokingly, or and they'll get away with it because there isn't that from the top coming down, is that and that was half of the problem with that Cressida Dick, wasn't it? She wasn't enforcing anything. She's got to go. It's got to be a fresh change, and hopefully someone who is it needs a complete shake-up, like Pete said, massively.
Agreed.
No, definitely. Okay, so this week it is half term, as we mentioned earlier, and I know there might be, especially with the weather the way it is, people are going to be struggling what to do with their kids, myself included, because it becomes very expensive to try and occupy children in half term when the weather is like this. You can't go to the parks and picnics and the nice things that don't cost anything. So Beth, what have we got going on this week that people can come down and join in with?
So tomorrow we are all about the gaming. So we're doing pool, we have our arcade machine, we've got a load of board games, a couple of card games, Uno, different things like that. We're also going to be doing our Just Living at 4:00, so that's where we do our cooking skills. I couldn't tell you what we were cooking this week, but I'm sure it's going to be something absolutely delicious. I know we had
eggs. No eggs.
We had one of our young people's grandma's famous chicken pasta last week.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard it was really nice.
Very good. It did look very good.
That would be perfect on a day like today. When you need that hot, warm. Yeah,
definitely. So we've got that on Wednesday. Thursday, we're doing even more gaming. So we're all about the gaming for this half term. And we are going to be doing exactly the same as we did on Wednesday, with the pool table out. Perhaps we could get some tournaments going over the 2 days. See who's the best pool player at the yard. I think Rachel might have a head above the rest in that competition. Rachel's sneaky, very good at pool.
I'll try.
Is she a pool shark? Is she one of them? I'm not very good.
Yeah.
I get lucky Thursday, and then afterward it goes downhill.
So much better than me. And then Friday we've got an actually really special day on Friday. So Friday morning we've got the Lord Lieutenant visiting us. I feel like you know a bit more about this, Jasmin, than I do, but he's coming
coming at 10:30.
Yeah.
And I think that he's coming down because he just wants to just have a look around and see what we do. So normally our mornings are breakfast buddies, and I think that's the sort of session he's heard about and wanted to see what we do. But obviously it is slightly different this week with it being half terms. There are going to be more young people in as well, but you know, again, that's not a problem. But yeah, I know that he's going to be there at about 10:30.
Yeah.
And he will be in all his, Bianca was showing me some photos the other day with all his get up and his outfit and whatnot. So it'll be really lovely to meet him. And to be able to show him what we're doing down the yard. But yeah, so that's the morning, isn't it? So yeah, 10:30 till 12:30 for that breakfast buddy side of things. And then what's going on in the afternoon on Friday?
In the afternoon, we've got a youth group from Islington visiting us. So we're going to be doing a couple of fun things with them. I think they're doing a poetry workshop for us. So that'll be really good, really good.
That'll be interesting.
Poetry. I know that we're going to do a couple of things for them. Like we've got a scavenger hunt planned. So they'll be walking around Northampton, finding typical Northampton landmarks, seeing what they think of Northampton, giving them a tour of the town, and then just having our normal youth groupie session in the evening with them, which will be really good.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Nice to meet some new people.
It will be. And then I think we'll go there.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I think that's the plan, isn't it? You know, then to take our gang up to Islington, which for some of them, they may, you know, not been there before, and that'll be a real nice treat, a little day out.
Yeah, really good.
Oh yeah, that'll be really nice. And have we got gaming on Saturday, Rachel?
We have got gaming on Saturday.
Yes, we do. So we got Dungeons and Dragons from 1:30 to 5:30, and also we have access to an arcade machine, pool, lots of board games, and also tabletop card games as well to join in and play. And like I said last Saturday, if there is any games or card games you would like us to introduce or try out, we're happy to supply that for everyone to get a chance to play as well.
Awesome. And I think with the weather, I mean, this rain and miserable weather's forecast for the week, so it's probably the perfect week to do some gaming and keep dry in the warm, see some of your mates, and have a bit of fun this half term without getting soggy and wet. So yeah, perfect. All right then, ladies, I think that is us done for this morning. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everyone who's watched and commented. Have a great day. Don't get too wet. And we will, and come down to the yard if you fancy coming to do some more gaming. You are more than welcome. Everybody is welcome. If you're unsure, if you want to know a bit more information, you can email us at theyard@communitycourtyard.org, or just get in touch on our social media and one of the team will get back to you. But we're looking forward to seeing all your faces this week. But have a great day, everyone, and see you later.